Lads, well, we're cooking with Cameron. Time to open up. Time to get back into the kitchen. Let's turn a vanilla cake into something real special. G'day, Dads. Great to have you along this week. Now, you might be thinking, Cameron, baking cake, that's pretty simple. Well, you're right, but I want to do something a little bit different with this, and there's a reason behind that. Because we're going on a road trip. This is only just going to be part of what we're doing. So remember the other week I talked about doing cold pressed coffee. Well, we're actually going to turn this vanilla cake, so it's just a branded cake, nothing flash, nothing special. But I'm going to use my cold press to turn a vanilla cake into a coffee cake. And then we're going to go visit my mate that roasts my coffee. He's just opened up a shop. So I thought, why not? Let's go and visit him. So I'm going to go visit a mate. Coffee and cake go hand in hand, don't they? So instead of buying a cake, I'm just going to knock one up real quick. So what am I going to do? Well, as I said, we've got vanilla, I've got some of the cold press, and I've got some walnuts. Coffee and walnuts, they just seem to go together. So the recipe, we've just got to adjust it. It's the packet mix, 3 eggs, 80 grams of butter, now 3/4 of a cup of milk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quarter of that cup out, so it's a half a cup of milk and a quarter of a cup of iced coffee. Okay, so that's the simple thing. Now, it's pretty simple. We just bung it all together, mix it up, put it in the burner, and then we're going to do some icing as well, just to make it a little bit fancy. So let's get into it. Now the trick of the cake, I always put a bit of spray oil on. And it's a springform tin. Makes life so much easier. So I've just lined that with paper, baking paper, nice and easy. So they're like, packet mixes are so easy, and they're also just easy to make a little bit special. So this is vanilla, it's now a coffee cake. It's ready, Dads. That's ready. Time to bung it in the burner. Now, 50 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer to 45. So we've preheated the oven to 140, so that's not too hot an oven actually. So it's preheated, 140, put it in the oven, about 50 minutes, we'll test it, see how it goes. That's going to just fit in there. I need to take it somewhere, so I'm putting it, doesn't look like a flash. This is a pre-mixed icing. I want to make it coffee because it's vanilla. Because it's pre-mixed, can't put too much coffee. There you go, Dads. Nice and easy. Vanilla cake turned into a coffee and walnut cake. Let's head off and go see our mate down at the coffee shop. Well, Dave, it's great to have you along with us on this road trip down to Cygnet. It's a beautiful little spot south of Hobart. If you've heard of the Huon Valley, we're just not far from that. We've got Port Cygnet behind us here. It's a beautiful bay. I'm looking across the valley. I can see some vineyards. You can see some boats. And if I turn around here, I can see Anthony from the Beansmith. Great. How are you, mate?
Very well, thanks, Cam. Thanks for visiting.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. I've been down here for a bit, trying to do these videos, and we're having some fun down here today. We're up to our second bit of cake and second coffee, for me at least, anyway. But as I said, I've been doing all this coffee stuff, so I thought I'd bring you down here and show you around my coffee supplier's shop. And so here we are. What have we got here, Anthony?
So all under one small roof, here at the back of the cannery, we've got the Beansmith operation, which is coffee roasting in the corner. So coffee roaster, destoner, packaging behind me here. We've got the 5 metre long coffee bench. We've got everything from espresso through to a brew bar at some stage in the future. Woo. And then and where Cam's sitting, we've got a little shop selling coffee machines and manual brewing gear.
Awesome. So it's only a small one-man setup, so to speak.
Yeah, largely, yeah.
Yeah, one man. Every now and then you bring the wife and child in.
Yeah.
Labour.
Got a few casual staff for different tasks, but I'm here most of the time on my own.
So any chance we can have a look around the shop?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Let's have a look.
No, what does roasting coffee entail?
Okay, so I'll give you a short summary of what we do. We get green coffee beans, which are the seeds of a small fruit, often with a red skin, but sometimes yellow.
Okay.
And then we pop it into the coffee roaster up here. We drop it in. It goes into here with a rotating drum with paddles, and we pull hot air across it at about 200 degrees. Ooh. And in about 15 minutes, we turn the green coffee, which is hard and insoluble, into something you're familiar with.
That's really cool. So 15 minutes for, how much is that machine going to do in one go?
Oh, in this machine I put 10 kilos in and I get 8.7 kilos out. So
that's the moisture going in it.
You lose about 13 to 15% moisture.
Cool. Now, you've got this. This is really cool. Now, you're telling me about this machine here. What does this machine do? So
there's sometimes there's debris in your roasted coffee or in your coffee in general. And once it's roasted, it's twice as big and a little bit lighter, so it flies in an airflow quite easily. So what you can do is you can pull all of your coffee that you drop into here up into here, which is in a vacuum, and hopefully leave sticks and stones behind. Nice.
So that's going to save your coffee grinder.
Very much so.
Well, thanks, Anthony. Those machines are really cool. So I'm going to assume that there is that fine line between amazing coffee and burnt.
Yes, I'm afraid there is. It's you can be roasting the coffee for 14 minutes, and then in the end of it, really, it's the last 10 seconds and half a degree where you're really making your mind up about getting it right, and that can be the difference between really great and overdoing it.
So what got you into roasting coffee?
Well, look, it came from I've always had interests in how things taste and smell and all those kinds of nice things in life. Coffee was one of those, and because coffee is inevitably a technical pursuit, I just, being an engineer, I just got interested in what I could do to make the coffee better. And then once I got past the coffee making, the next extension was coffee roasting, where you can really transform the coffee flavours from the raw product.
Yeah. And roasting's getting really popular with the hipsters. I'll say that. Now, Anthony, when I first met him, you used to wear a vest. Where's that gone?
Look, it's getting a rest for now. I'm going the Steve Irwin look at the moment.
Steve Irwin look, no worries. So you can buy little roasters for at home, can't you?
Yep. You can, like around $1,000 or so, give or take. You can buy various home roasters that'll roast a bag of coffee at a time.
Yeah, cool. So there's another option, Dads. But you know what? I reckon we just stick to making coffees. And so if I'm going to make a coffee at home, and I don't have any machines, what's an entry level? What's a start point?
Yeah, so if you want to make espresso coffee at home, you'll need a machine that will have a pump in it, because it's brewed under pressure. So the best advice I could give is the same advice I got way back when I started, which was to buy a small single boiler coffee machine if you can. They're not necessarily more expensive, they're just a particular format. And someone like DeLonghi still makes one. It's usually a little black unit. They're about $200, and because of the way they're made, you can coax them to work quite well even though they're not that expensive or very heavy or anything.
Yeah.
But you can get them to do the right things with the temperature and get a really good result. But you should pair it with good coffee and a reasonable burr grinder.
A reasonable burr grinder. Now, this was something I learnt later on in my coffee experiences. I had a spice and coffee grinder.
Oh dear.
What do you mean, oh dear? What was wrong with that?
So this happens a lot because the companies that make the spice grinders sell them as a coffee crossover type product, and they have a single arm and it flails around and it makes particles of any size based on the product that you're grinding up. So it's quite variable. With a burr grinder, you've got two sets of cast teeth, and you're controlling the gap between them, so the particles are largely the same size. And in a bed of coffee that's brewed under pressure, you need the particles to be a relatively similar size for you to have some control over it.
Okay. So the burr grinder's the way to go, not the spice.
Most definitely, yeah.
Okay. Good bit of advice there, Dads. So, Anthony, you're running a business, you're a husband, you're a dad of one?
So I've got one daughter, she's 8 years old.
8 years old. And we mentioned earlier that she's your slave monkey in here in the shop.
Oh, yeah, when she comes in to volunteer, yeah.
When she comes in to volunteer, I bet you do make it up to her, though.
Yeah.
So, how do you balance work, family life? How does that all come together?
Yeah, well, it's never easy, but you've just got to acknowledge that you're going to have to do some good time with your children at various times of the week that you can all fit it in together. So you've got the time after you get home from work and the children haven't gone to bed yet. That's pretty important because you can listen to what they've done at school, make sure they get a good dinner, and then maybe read a book or do something else together.
Yeah.
And then at other times of the week when you can, you try and do something else meaningful. And for me, that's turned out to be quite nice in the sense that my daughter and I have both started rock climbing at a similar time a couple of years ago, and now we go every Monday.
Yep.
And I leave work a little bit early, pick her up from the end of school, and we drive to Hobart to go rock climbing, and it's become a joint hobby.
Nice. Now, off camera before, you mentioned that it's about building a relationship and spending that time so that they know who you are and you know who they are as they grow up. You mentioned that before off camera. Yeah,
I think that's really important because they've as they're growing up into little versions of yourselves, they've got to develop their own self-esteem. Yeah. So I think it's really important that they think that they understand that they've got something worthwhile to say to you. Yeah. So that's why listening to them, engaging in what they do, is important equally as much as sharing your passion. Like I like lots of different things, and my daughter picks up on that. She knows I'm enthusiastic about coffee and rock climbing. That's never a bad thing to share your enthusiasm with your kids.
Yeah, just as long as she's not drinking the coffee yet.
Not yet, no.
Not yet. Awesome. Cool. Well, Anthony, it's been great to catch up with you.
Yeah. And
thanks for letting us come into your shop and have a wander around.
Thanks for visiting.
Rearrange a few things. I hope you like the cake. I made that for you.
My second piece is about to get devoured.
Second piece. Anyway, Dads, I want to encourage you, get out there, as I always do, and say, go meet your suppliers. As I said before, what machines have you got? Show us your setup. Be great to see them. Hashtag, as I said before, Cooking with Cameron, fathering channel. And I'm going to head back to the kitchen, I think, and I might make a coffee when I get home. But Dads, till next time, keep being great dads.